Moments ago, President Trump arriving in Turkey, where he's expected to press our European allies to increase their defense spending and take on a greater share of Europe's security. Democratic Senator Jeanne Shaheen is co-chair of the Senate NATO Observer Group, and she joins us now. Senator, the president said one of the main reasons he was coming to this NATO summit was because of his relationship with Erdogan. Having said that, they're off on the right foot. What do you expect the chief objective to be and achievement to be at the end of this summit?
Well, I think it's an opportunity to point out the significant increases in spending that our NATO allies are making. This year, for the first time, all 32 NATO allies are at 2% of their GDP in terms of spending on defense. It's one of the things that we've been pushing for, and the president should take credit for the fact that we are well on the way to getting to that 5% of GDP on spending. Between 2024 and 2025, NATO allies increased defense spending by 20%. That's very good news. And I think this is an opportunity, hopefully, to continue support for Ukraine. We've seen the momentum shift on the war in Ukraine in favor of Ukraine. They're taking back territory. Russian casualties are over 30,000 a month, and we're seeing the Russian economy really taking a huge hit. So now is the time to press that advantage, to try and get Putin to the negotiating table, and let's get this war over.
I want you to hear what President Zelensky put on X. He said, "We have long made the case that we are capable of producing such defensive weapons ourselves, like Patriots. If Ukraine were granted U.S. license to produce Patriots, our own production would be sufficient both to protect Ukraine and to help partners in need." So they think they could make so many so quick, they'd be able to give us some of our own Patriots back. Would you urge the president to take Zelensky up on that?
I certainly think that that's an important conversation. Obviously, we're going to have to look at some of the specifics, but one of the focuses of this summit is the need for co-production. The war in Ukraine has showed us that we have a lot of work in our defense industrial base, both in the United States and in Europe, that we need to do in order to prepare for warfare in the future. And one of the things that we've seen from the war in Ukraine is that it's not just about us supporting the Ukrainians, but what we're getting back from Ukraine, because the innovation, the technological advances on how war today is being conducted, the Ukrainians are better than anybody else in the world, and we need to learn from them. And in fact, we've seen that they've come to the Middle East to try and be supportive in the war in Iran with our allies who have been affected by drones attacking our allies. So this is an opportunity for us, and we need to take advantage of it.
Senator, would you also urge our allies to do something substantial when it comes to Iran? We understand they were upset they didn't get a heads up on the quick hit on the Ayatollah and leadership. I got it. But that's water literally under the bridge. Having said that, when you talk to these leaders and they really respect you, would you urge them to play a more prominent role?
Well, I think we want to work together. That's part of why NATO is such a strong security alliance. And in fact, our European allies have been supportive in Iran. It's a story that hasn't gotten out much, but they flew 5,000 sorties as in support of the United States in the war in Iran. So many that they had to close down the airport in Bucharest because of the number of flights that were going by. The spending that is happening in the United States by our European allies is really critical. So can we do more? Yes. Do we need to get a resolution for the war in Iran? Absolutely. And I think it's important that France and the UK are working with Oman to demine the Strait of Hormuz so we can get commercial traffic moving again there. So we need to continue to look at ways that we can work together.
So, Senator, I know we're talking internationally at NATO summit, but domestically, this huge story, Graham Plattner, who has the Democratic nomination in Maine to go against Susan Collins, a woman you've worked well with in the past. There's a big push among almost every prominent Democrat for him to drop out. Where do you stand, Senator? Do you think he should drop out?
I do. I think he needs to get out of the race, and the sooner the better, so that he can be replaced with somebody who can raise the issues in a way that doesn't address the other concerns that have been raised about Mr. Plattner.
Senator, thanks so much. Best of luck in the summit.
Thank you.